So Nigeria have played their second round of games at the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations and officially have become the first country to qualify from the group stage of the WAFCON. So I'm going to break down the game when they won by 1-0 against Botswana and look into how well this game really tells a lot about the journey for Team Nigeria at the Women's Africa Cup of Nations.
I'm doing.
All right, so welcome back. The name is Dennis Seyram over here. So Nigeria's Falcons won 1-0 against Botswana in their game against Botswana. Yes, their game against Botswana. But their attendance again was a bit questionable as it has been the whole tournament when Morocco is not playing. And I think this tells a big story about how we've been failed in Africa, and the governments who are leading different countries have really failed us, because if a game like Botswana and Nigeria at the WAFCON, where there's a lot of interest on the continent, a lot of people are watching on TV, while people cannot be at the stadium because they can't afford it, then our politicians have really done us bad on this continent, that we cannot travel simple distances to watch games. Because I was at the stadium and then you see the environment. I was at the area where the locals were, the Moroccans were, and then realized that those at the stadium were people who came with their family. So you'd see a man, then a woman, then maybe their daughter, maybe their son. It was mostly family. So it feels like a family moment, a time for families to connect, enjoy a football game, and then connect. You couldn't really feel the fan base, a bit of supporters in terms of the part where the locals were. But I know if you check the part where the Nigerians were, they were so energetic in the stadium, where the Nigerians were seated, sang for most parts of the game, cheered their girls on, and eventually got the win. And if you also check the Botswana side, they were not that much, but then also made their voices heard at the stadium. I was a bit far away from them, but you could hear them making some noises and then cheering their team on, especially when they made some good attempts. But to the game itself, and I think Nigeria really got a taste of what a competition feels like, because in the first game, I spoke about how the very early goal Nigeria scored really dealt with everything for them, because when they have the quality, so with the early goal, that means pressure was very little on Team Nigeria, and they could play their best of games. But for this game against Botswana, that early goal didn't happen. It didn't come. So with time, there was a lot of pressure on the Nigerian team. You realize Botswana did not really create a lot of chances in the second half. Nigeria's goalkeeper Chiamaka Nadozie was literally just walking up and down her goal area. She was not really called to action to make any save. So it wasn't a matter of Botswana coming out and giving Nigeria a game, but it was a matter of Botswana showing Nigeria that, yeah, we might not score you, but you also not score us. And that happened for, I think, 80 minutes of the game, where we saw Botswana being outstanding. But with Botswana being outstanding, one player I certainly have to mention is the goalkeeper, Sedilame Bosija, and what a goalkeeper she was. I mean, if you watch her play at this WAFCON, and let's say you move from your mindset that it is Women's Africa Cup of Nations, and then you also take away all the players on the pitch, and you're just watching the goalkeeper move and play, you would think she's actually a top professional men's goalkeeper, because look at the confidence with how she commands her area, how she comes out to claim crosses. I mean, she doesn't even fumble any cards. She comes out, confidently catches every ball. Even when under pressure, you can see two players pressuring her, but then she jumps and then grabs the ball confidently. I mean, top level goalkeeper. Her composure is the best. Her agility and how she even dives to make saves. She made one save from Ashley Plumtree, and it was a fantastic, wonderful save. I think she's had a very good tournament. Despite Botswana losing 2 of their games, she hasn't disappointed at all. She's been excellent. I'll give her 9 over 10 at this tournament so far. She's been excellent. She's been that good. And I think she was one of the reasons why Botswana really dragged the game that long, because the few times that Nigeria really threatened, she came to the party, she neutralized all the threats from Nigeria, and was on point to literally get her first clean sheet of the WAFCON, this WAFCON, and then gets the points for that is her country, Botswana, until Nigeria did their match again. I think that will also have to do a lot with the bench of Nigeria because it's on the goal they scored. Jennifer Chegini, who came in the second half, I think she showed her quality. If you check Chegini this season, I think she's having the best time of her career so far with PSG. She scored 7 goals and I think 4 assists in about 18 games with PSG this season. She's been fantastic at club side in the French league. And I think it's quite surprising. We've not really seen a lot of Jennifer Chegini at this WAFCON. The first game she came on, I think in injury time. The second game against Botswana, she came on at halftime. It's a surprise to me because I take her to be one of the players who could possibly even be a player of the tournament for this WAFCON. So it's a surprise to me that she hasn't really played a lot of minutes, but then she came on, showed her quality, and her touches, when she touches the ball, her control, it was just next level. Created chances or was able to put Nigeria into areas where they can create chances. And even with the goal they scored, it was Jennifer Chegini working her way to find that is Esther Okuronko, who also was another player who came from the bench, then pinged the cross to that is Chiwendu Hezio, who got more so like a tap-in because it was a well-worked attempt for her to nudge the final ball into the back of the net and get the late winner for Nigeria. But one Nigeria player I also have to really mention a lot for her contribution on the day has to be the left back, Ashley Plumtree. I think she was wonderful on the day, especially attacking because Botswana not really attacking Nigeria much. Nigeria had the option to impose themselves on Botswana, and she was one of the players who really stood out in terms of the attacking phase for Nigeria. Her crosses were wonderful. She was able to create some good chances for Nigeria with inch-perfect crosses. She was able to take shots on targets where only the brilliance of Botswana's goalkeeper denied her a goal. I think she did absolutely perfect in this game. So in the end, it's Nigeria who won by 1-0, and they've qualified to the next stage. That's the quarterfinal of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. The first country to qualify to the knockout stage officially, even though in Group A, a country like Zambia and Morocco, it is most likely to qualify. But then mathematically, there's still a chance that they might not qualify mathematically. But then in reality, they've almost qualified. But then mathematically, Nigeria is the first country to qualify to the knockout stages. So that's it. You have it there. 1-0 win, not 2, 1-0 win for Super Falcons against Botswana. Let me know your thoughts about this game in the comment section.